Hey, welcome to another episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. Continue with the BJCP style guidelines. We're still on category 27, the historical beer styles, even though there's no order to them, they just go in alphabetical order. And we're looking at the pre-prohibition porter. Overall impression, an American adaptation of English porter using American ingredients, including adjuncts. I want to wave a flag for that. And for that, I've got one of the two commercial examples of the style, and it actually made right down the road from me. Yuengling Dark Brewed Porter. Independent and family owned since 1829 or something like that. Yeah, so in Yuengling, they have a satellite brewery in Tampa, which is like 40, 50 miles down the road. So, and it's a very fresh bottle too. So that's pretty interesting. So let's check the comments history, all that stuff. So comments also sometimes known as a Pennsylvania porter or East Coast porter. Characters and ingredients. This is really interesting. 2 and 6 row malt or a combination of both are used along with low percentage of dark. They actually say low percentages of dark malts, including black, chocolate, and brown malt. Roasted barley is not typically used. I was just on Yuengling's website, and they said they don't use any roasted barley in here. It's just, like I said, chocolate and brown malt. Adjuncts are acceptable, including corn, brewer's licorice, molasses, and porterine. Now, I didn't know what porterine was until I was getting ready to do this beer review. I saw that. I Googled it. I saw a blog post Lou Bryson wrote in 2009 where he mentioned that he had heard that this beer is made with porterine, and it's basically it's just like an extract, like a syrup, like a darkening agent. More historical versions will have the 20% adjuncts, lager or ale yeast. So, I mean, you think porter, you think ale, but according to at least this specific style, you could actually be a lager. Emphasis on historical or traditional American bittering hops, cluster Willamette Cascade, though finishing and flavor hops may vary. Style comparison, smoother and less hoppy bitter than a modern American porter. Less caramelly than an English porter with more of an adjunct lager character. So I mean, they mentioned lager on here, twice, and I mean it's Yuengling, so put a pin in that. Vital is 20 to 30 IBUs, not very bitter. SRM 18 to 30, kind of dark. Well, yeah, it's pretty dark, I guess. And I got a commercial example. So let's just dive right into the aroma here. To me, it has like a lager kind of smell, definitely kind of like a flaked maize kind of smell. I would not say it's like cooked corn or cream corn, anything like that, but if you've ever been to a homebrew store and they have the flake maize there, it's kind of what it smells like. There's like this dark malt character to it, just like a brown or kind of a chocolate malt thing. So like toasty, I guess you could say. It is not sweet smelling, not really. Like I'm not getting chocolate or it doesn't seem to me like it's going like a really under attenuated or anything like that. So, not much in the way of hops, just really really low, like maybe just generic floral, earthy hops or something like that. Let's check the specs on aroma. Base grainy malt aroma with low levels of dark malt, slight burn or chocolate notes. I do not get either of those. Low hop aroma, true. Low to moderate, low levels of DMS acceptable. I mean, I don't know if I'm getting DMS, but there's definitely a corny character there. And it does say it is acceptable. May show low levels of caramel and biscuit aroma. Yeah, I mean, they say may show low. Yeah, okay. No to very low esters. Definitely no esters here. This is, I can just tell from smelling it, it's a lagered beer, not an ale. Ale yeast with a lot of esters. Light adjunct, licorice, molasses, aroma acceptable. I mean, I wouldn't call it licorice or molasses. It's more like, corn. Diacetyl, low to none. I'm not getting any butter. Clean lager, profile acceptable. I mean, yeah, as far as the fermentation, it's clean. I'm not getting any green apple or anything like that. Let's say 9. I mean, it's one of the commercial examples of style, so again, we should just give it a 50 and call it a day. But we gotta do what we gotta do. All right, so this probably looks black on camera. Holding up to the sunlight there, it definitely is black. A little bit of brown highlight on the bottom. It was like actually really clear kind of brown when I was pouring it. I had about a 2-finger head when I poured it. You'll see the thumbnail, and it regenerates pretty well. I mean, it's pretty good. Nice kind of tan foam for what could essentially be just a dark lager. So yeah, good looking beer. Let's check the specs on appearance. Medium to dark brown, though some examples can be nearly black in color with ruby or mahogany highlights. Relatively clear, light to medium tan head, which will persist in the glass. All right, well that's on point there. So I'm gonna go full 3 out of 3 on appearance. Let's see how it tastes. Cheers. I'm getting like this kind of like base, like amber lager base. So getting a lot of 2 or 6 row in there. And I'm getting like a little bit of specialty character from like the darker malts and the porterine. So it's giving it, It's like kind of toasty. It's like kind of Maillard, almost like a like a British, or not British, a German dunkel, but with a lot of corn or maize in there. There is a lingering, slight kind of adjuncty or extracty kind of flavor, like a little bit of just this kind of syrupy or molasses kind of flavor. I would not call it sweet. It's just like the flavor of that without the sugary sweetness. It seems to be a pretty well attenuated beer. So it's kind of tasting like a lager. Like I'm not getting any yeast esters. I'm not getting any like roasty, burnt, kind of, deeply roasted kind of thing. Just same with the aroma, just kind of like brownish malt, dark, chocolate malt. I would not call it sweet or chocolate or anything. It's just kind of like dark lagers are kind of a weird thing. It's like the Czech dark lager or the German dunkel. You take that and then you like really, really highly attenuate it so there's like no residual sugar whatsoever, and then you add a bunch of corn for adjuncts, and you're basically left with this. I don't really get any. I mean, there's certainly bitterness in there. It's just kind of a generic kind of earthy, dry bitterness that's pretty low, but it's enough for balance. Yeah, it's a fine tasting beer. Let's see how it goes on the specs. Flavor, grainy base malt flavor with low levels of chocolate or burnt black malt notes, along with low levels of caramel, biscuit, licorice, and toast notes. Okay, so bit of a run-on sentence, but I can definitely pick out a few things in there. Low levels of chocolate, yes. Burnt black, no. Low levels of caramel, no. Biscuit, licorice, toast, yeah, a little bit, yeah. And they all say low. They don't say it has to be high. Corn DMS flavor acceptable at low to moderate levels. True. Yeah, I would say moderate corn in there. It's not a corn bomb. It's not malt liquor. American hop bitterness, low to moderate, and American hop flavor, low to none. All right, so yeah, low bitterness and really no hop flavor. Balance is typically even between malt and hops with a moderate dry finish. Yeah, it's a pretty dry, pretty clean aftertaste. So even though it's not like an exciting, robust, delicious beer, I mean, it's living up to those specs there really well. I mean, and it should. I mean, this pretty much invented the style. I can't really think of anything to criticize it about. So, but a 20 would seem wrong. I would go 18. It's interesting because like it didn't really match up much on the aroma, but the flavor is really doing it. Mouthfeel, I'd say it's about a medium body, medium carbonation. It's very smooth. It kind of drinks like an ale, I guess you could say, just because that smooth texture. Pretty clean finish. What's the ABV on this? It's pretty low. It's like 4.7. Okay, so yeah, that's very sessionable. Yeah, so nice drinkability on it. It's not quite as thick and sticky as most American or even British porters that you're used to, but yeah, it's very drinkable. Check the specs on mouthfeel. Medium light to medium body, moderate carbonation, low to moderate creaminess. I mean, smooth. I don't know if I'd say creamy. May have a slight astringency from the dark malts. I don't know if I'd say astringent, but definitely like kind of a dark malt aftertaste. Yeah, I like the mouthfeel on it. It certainly didn't mention the lager or ale kind of drinkability. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5. Overall impression, I could kind of go 8 or 9. Let's say, I'm gonna say 9, which that's pretty high. It's a 43 out of 50. These historical styles, they're really, really hard to judge. So, man, I'm going very, very long. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.